Hi, this is Rob Packard from Medical Device Academy. This is a short video explaining what you get when you purchase our training procedure, which is SYS 004. When you go on our website and you click on the SOP page, so I'll do that right now for you. There's the SOP page, you click on that. And down at the bottom is the training procedure here. And we're going to update this page to include the video that we're recording right now. So this is where you purchase it, and you purchase it for $2.99, and it says you get these three things: the procedure, the training record, and the training matrix. But when you purchase this, and you click here to purchase, and then you would make the payment using PayPal or your credit card. And once you've done that, you'll get an automated email. And the first email will ask you if you want to subscribe to our training updates. And if that isn't something that you want to have long-term, you can unsubscribe as soon as you download it. But in order to get the download automatically, you have to subscribe yes first. And you'll get the second email automatically that says, yes, here's the training procedure, here's the training record, here's the training matrix. They're all attached here. And then as soon as you've downloaded them, then all you have to do is click on the unsubscribe and take yourself off the list so you don't get any more emails. But if you stay on the list, that's how you get automatic updates whenever we update these procedure or the forms. Now I'm going to show you the first document that you involved in this, the first one you should actually use, which is the training matrix. You would have one column for each of the employees or each function of the company or each job description. Small companies would typically use just the employee, whereas most companies would probably use the job description. And then this column, you put all the things that people need training on. So all the procedures, any webinars, maybe an employee onboarding or orientation, and you could have job-specific training like auditor training. And then at the very bottom, we have a little note here that says an X indicates required by job function. But it doesn't just have to be an X. You can modify this to include other information. So for instance, you could have color coding. You could have required training for everybody is one color, another color for specific types of jobs like quality system auditor. And then you could have, or maybe a purchasing agent, maybe specific training on specific software packages or design control training. You could also include, instead of just an X, you could include the date of the training. By including the date, now if you make an update to a procedure, you can look at all training that was done prior to that update, and all those people would be needing retraining. So it makes it very easy for you to sort the list. It's all in an Excel spreadsheet for you to monitor their training and update it, and identify who needs retraining and whose training might be out of date because it predates a regulation or something. The next document I'm going to show you is the training record itself. The green items here in this form are just examples of how you would fill it in. And then the red is just things that you would delete, trying to give you instructions. Down here, you have room to put in multiple people. You can add rows, so you can train it a group training, or you could delete rows and just have one person trained. And down here, you indicate who the trainer is. So if it's self-training, you're going to replace this with your own name. If I were there doing training, I would fill this in for you and I would sign it. And if you're watching a webinar, you would, instead of having signature, you'd say recorded web-based training. So that's why you don't have my signature. So it just depends on who's doing the training, how you would fill that in. But this is designed to be flexible, so you could customize it and revise it. All you're required to do is document who did your training and when, not necessarily have this form laid out this way. So you can modify this form as needed to document your training. And then the third thing that you're going to have is the training and competency procedure. And this explains how to fill in documents for training. We're at draft 4 here, so we keep on updating this, but you would delete the draft when you approve this procedure. You would indicate the date it's effective. Typically, people will pick a time in the future, maybe 30 days in the future, so that people have time to read this. Or it could be specific date if you're revising the procedure as a corrective action. You can leave my name there, but if you're making revisions to the procedure, you'd probably want to put your name. You're going to update it with maybe the reference to your quality manual, your company's name, your logo. If you have a turnkey quality system you purchase from us, we do those things for you. Explains the input to the process and the outputs. This is going to be the job descriptions or names of the titles of the people involved in this process. Um, this is the revision history. So every time you make a change, you would put another row in here, like so. This is where the document change notices. So whenever you approve this procedure, you would have a new DCN number and a new date, and you would explain what the change is and why you changed it and the author of the change. Here you have the roles and responsibilities. Here's the actual, talks about the recruitment of new employees and making sure they're competent and they have the qualifications for the job. Here's planning of training. You might even have gaps for a specific person, so you got to address that. That's covered in here. Talks about effectiveness and competency. Here's the actual training, how you record it in the records. And this here, we have it in all our procedures. It's where you document quality objectives. Every process in a quality system should be monitored and measured, so you decide how you're going to monitor and measure it. Sometimes we've put some examples here. You can edit this to be the way you want it. So over time, if you want to change the way you're monitoring and measuring the training process as part of an effectiveness check for a corrective action, modify this. And here we explain what's required for training on this procedure, but if you revise the procedure, you can also indicate what would be required for retraining. If we just fix a typo, no retraining required. Down here you have it's a risk-based quality system, so we have the risk control measures associated with this procedure, and then we have the risks that you're trying to avoid or hazards, but they're technically just uncertainties in the process because nobody can actually get hurt by your training process. And then we have the records. So you have the training matrix, the training file for each person, and the training record. And of course, a job description. And you would decide where those are stored, either put a URL for an electronic location, such as a server location, or physically, should be maintained by the individual process owner for design controls or the quality manager, whoever's retaining those specific records. It could be the human resources department. So that's all the content that you get when you purchase this procedure. If you have any other questions, just contact me, either before you purchase it or afterwards. If you need some training in-house on how to use this procedure, we can record something specific for you, particularly if you make some revisions. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope this was helpful. Have a great day. Bye-bye.